Hi everyone, welcome to pregnancy week 33. Today I am 33 weeks and 3 days pregnant. And this week has flown by so fast. Even though I had nothing to do, like barely any work, it flew by. Which I'm really thankful for because I'm getting so anxious to meet the baby and I'm still uncomfortable. So that's always, it's nice to know that you're like approaching your due date. So the beginning of this week I had my midwife appointment. And basically the entire appointment went towards me and my feelings and wanting to be done with the pregnancy and blah blah blah. You get the point. And this midwife took me a lot more seriously than the midwife I had the appointment before that. And basically she said, well, good for you for being very honest about your feelings. She said, because a lot of women are trying to like win the best pregnant woman of the year award. And she says, there's no such thing as an award. You know, they tell you that, but that's not true. So I started laughing. And she's like, you don't read it up in books how hard the last couple of weeks of pregnancy are. You don't read it up, you don't read it in magazines or interviews. And you're definitely not going to hear it from other pregnant people because they paint as rainbows and butterflies and golden flowers and unicorn pregnancy shit. And it's just not the real deal. So that made me feel a lot better. And then she explained that basically every pregnant woman have, on some level of their pregnancy, find something very difficult about it. So it could either be medical, physical, or emotional. And then she asked me, if I would make you choose between those three right now, what would you say? And I was like, emotional. And Rob at that point like almost like gave himself a hernia and he was like, what? I would swear to God it would be physical because every single time you complain or you're down low is because you're physically so uncomfortable. And bottom line is, it's emotionally hard because I imagined how it would be like way back in the day. Like I always imagined I would be pregnant and I would be still doing a lot of things, like I would still be me and I would like not have to give in. You know, I could make my body do things and whatever. It may have been naive, but that's what I thought. I always thought that it would be exactly the same, but then with a bigger belly and a baby moving. That's what I thought. And bottom line is, I'm very disappointed in the way that I handle my physical discomfort. That's basically what it comes down to. I thought I would be a lot more of a tougher cookie than I really am. And it sucks, and I really just wish that I could go back to the person that I was pre-pregnancy, so, you know, because I was a lot tougher back then, and I could, if I was very tired, I could just keep going, and if my back would hurt, I would still go to work, and right now I wouldn't, because it would just be too painful. And that realization that that's exactly why I want to be done with the pregnancy helps me accept that's what's going on, and I still have to go another 7 weeks, and if I feel this way, then that's alright, but I have to suck it up because I need to make sure my baby has the best possible start in life as he could possibly have. So I need to suck it up. I need to be a grown, responsible mommy and just suck it up for my baby. And the fact that I can accept the feelings that I have and know where they're coming from makes me feel a lot better. It really has lifted up my mood, so that's good. The other things we talked about in the midwife appointment was about my birth plan, and basically I just asked a few things like what they did exactly like after you have the baby, because that's the only part of labor and delivery I had questions about. And because the rest I kind of like figured out online and in the books, but all the books like stop at the moment you like deliver the placenta. It immediately goes to home, and I'm like, what they're gonna do to the baby once it comes out, you know? Because I read a lot of things from the United States where they give hepatitis shots, or they, you know, they have the option of delayed cord clamping or vitamin K or eye gel and all that stuff, and I couldn't find it anywhere in any of my Dutch resources. Like the only thing I could find is that delayed cord clamping is standard here. You know, they already wait for the placenta to stop beating, or for the umbilical cord to stop beating before they cut it. That's basically it. And I couldn't find anything else. So I asked about that, and basically the only thing they do is to check baby's APGAR score, and they gave him vitamin K drops in his cheek. So not an injection, but just vitamin K drops in his cheek. And she gave me a brochure so I can look into that if I would want, because if I would say no, then they won't do it. No, it's something that is an option, but they will do it like the standard to do so. And in 2 weeks I have to deliver my birth plan when I have another midwife appointment. Then she checks my blood pressure, which was perfect again, and she checked my fundus height, which is back on track. I was a couple weeks ahead last time I checked. So right now I'm catching up, or the weeks are catching up to my fundus height, I guess. And then they started looking for the baby or like feeling him move and whatnot. And I was asked, like, can you tell, like, not only if he's, because right now they kept saying, like, or until now they kept saying, oh, he's head down, you're perfect. And he feels like, you know, his size is decent, you know, he's a little bit ahead, but, you know, he's been ahead since like day 1, so. And I was like, can you feel like exactly what position he's in? And she's like, well, it's kind of hard because he's wiggling. I was like, yeah, I know he's wiggling, but I cannot seem to figure out what it is that I'm feeling. And I would like to know, like, what it is that is making me feel uncomfortable. And it took her a while, but she figured out he's head down still, and he's facing my belly, so his spine is against my spine, and he's in a squat position. So basically he has his legs open and his knees towards his shoulder blades, or towards his shoulders, and that's what I'm feeling, because I feel like a hard ball on my right and on my left side of my belly button, but nothing between it. So I was like constantly, he cannot have 2 butts, you know, he cannot have, like, what is that? So basically what I feel is 2 knees and the bottom, or the front of his bottom legs. And it's probably what's causing most of my discomfort in my back and in my, you know, in the belly itself, because he's pushing himself off either on my spine or on my belly, you know, it shifts, and confines himself. So basically he pushes himself stuck because he likes probably because he likes the pressure. Point is, his pressure that he creates for himself is also creating pressure in my back and in my belly, and that's probably why I'm, you know, having a lot of back pain and a lot of discomfort in my belly when he moves. But that's okay, because, you know, he's at least head down, which is positive. We do hope he twists a little bit, because it would be better if you have a vaginal birth. But you know, he still has some time to twist, you know, at least he's still head down. As for symptoms this week, definitely back pain. It is getting worse. Definitely like in my lower back. And it's slowly scrolling up, because I think baby's getting bigger, and therefore, you know, he takes up more space against my spine. And this week I also had, like, I think I'm gonna call them thunder legs. Because basically every once in a while one of my nerves gets like cut off or something, and I get like zaps, and they're so painful. I'm like, ow, 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 and just wait for it, like, for baby to move so he goes away. And I push against myself, kind of, get away from there. It hurts, and it is so uncomfortable to sleep right now, because if I lay on my stomach, my legs, I put a pillow between my legs, but then my legs are still close enough that there's like a lot of pressure in my cervix. Like, I cannot put my legs that close together anymore. So I have to like find a position that doesn't hurt my back and doesn't hurt my cervix, which is difficult. And I think that has contributed to me like sleeping more lightly, and therefore having more dreams, because I'm having a lot of dreams, and they're vivid, like really vivid. So that's exciting for my sleep pattern. The other thing is that I'm having a lot of contractions, and I think they're just more like Braxton Hicks. I mean, they have some sort of rhythm to them, like they're like for like maybe half an hour every 5 minutes, for like a little bit, and then I don't feel them for a while, and then I'm like having one Braxton Hicks contraction that lasts like 4 minutes, and then, you know, I can tell I'm definitely having the practice contractions right now. And definitely because In the beginning, I would basically, in the beginning of pregnancy, like 10 weeks ago, I would just feel breast and aches whenever I would like lay my hand on my stomach, or and I could feel how hard my belly was, or whenever I was laying down. Now I can feel them like all the time because it stops me from breathing. You know, it's just like my uterus is up so high that whenever I get a Braxton Hicks and my entire belly gets all hard, it hurts my ribs. Like it hurts. Yeah, it gets uncomfortable to breathe during one of those contractions. So that's fun. But I'm really happy that I'm having them because I'm like, at least my body's getting ready to do something like that. And this week I also had some menstrual cramp things going on, but they're in combination with laying down and having cervical pressure. So I think that might, excuse me, think what is coming from. So basically the cervical pressure is like causing my uterus to spaz out, I guess. So that's basically it for symptoms. As for cravings and aversions, I am definitely craving ice cream. And I don't mean like the one that's made from like dairy. I mean the one that's made from like water. So basically from, I think, Ola or whatever, they have these ice creams that are made from water and pear, or water and strawberry, or water and some kind of fruit. And it's basically just like a popsicle. And it's so good. It is seriously the best thing ever. And they only have like 48 or like something, like around 50 calories an ice cream. So I'm like, especially because I'm not that hungry and I barely eat anything. Or like I eat stuff, you know, I eat enough, but I don't eat like a full meal. So I can just like eat like, you know, a cracker, and then I'm like gnawing on popsicle. It's like nom, 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 nom. So good. And I'm definitely getting an even bigger craving for dairy. I always like dairy, as in like cheese and you know, yogurt and stuff like that. I don't like milk, but I do like yogurts and you know, one of those milkshake drink things, because they have like the morning drinks that is made from like milk with banana and like kind of like smoothie things, but then healthier than actually not making the smoothie yourself. And I don't know, it's kind of like a combination between a smoothie and a milkshake, and I love those. We drink a lot of them right now. And this week I've been like upping on that as well, so I love it. And I think it has something to do with warm weather too, because all of a sudden it went from 10 degrees to 25 degrees, and I've actually been like sort of sunbathing, even though you probably cannot tell at all. But I was like, oh, like a nice cold ice cream, and then like, or I take a glass of the yogurt drink and I like down it, and then I take like a popsicle, and it's so good. So good. Now I want another popsicle, and I already had one this today. I might actually just go for another one. Who cares? They're only 40 calories, so, and they barely contain any sugar, which is good. Oh, I'm sorry, let's get the camera. So yeah, that's basically it for this week of pregnancy. And I guess I'll show you guys the bump. And I will talk to you guys next time. Bye everyone.